Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to look nice and set this video up nice and make myself look presentable, but you know what? I think that wasn't gonna happen for a very long time, so I am just going with it. Excuse the mess behind me, that is literally from middle of the night diaper changes and blanket switches. I am here because I was gonna edit and upload like her coming home from the hospital initially the first time when she was released from the... If you're new here, hi guys, I just had a baby. I'm just talking about her like you all know her. Here she is. Vayda, say hi. Her name is Vayda Edith Albert, and she was born April 24th at 7:46 p.m., weighing 4 pounds and 10 ounces. My tiny little preemie. Hey, miss. Are you going to wake up and say hi? Or am I just making you so mad? Mommy's making you mad. Like, she swims in preemie clothes still. You want to say hi? No? What is that face? What is that face? Am I pissing you off? Are you so mad at mom? So I wanted to edit and get that video up for you guys, but my last video, I'm sure, has left you very concerned. So I'm actually going to do a health update on Miss Vayda because we just saw her primary this morning, her primary doctor. So I have a good update for you. She was released from the nursery 5 days after she was born. She was kept a little longer because she's preemie and she had some issues with her blood sugar and keeping her body heat, just because preemies do have those issues. For 5 days, I brought her home and we were all together as like this happy family, me, her, and Eliza. If you are new here, I just keep saying that in case, because I feel like maybe new people are here. She does have a 3-year-old sister who's at preschool right now.
Baby.
2 days later, we went to the pediatrician's office, and the pediatrician said, she's lost about ½ an ounce. I want you to supplement after breastfeeding with formula. And again, if you're new here, my older daughter has food protein induced enterocolitis. It's basically an allergy that takes place in the GI tract and causes the colon and the intestines to swell. I talked to the primary about how I was concerned about supplementing, hi kitty, with dairy formula because of her sister's issues with it, and he said I can't treat her, you know, based off her sister's symptoms, so we got to give the dairy a try. How do you always, she always goes and then smiles. Are you trying to poop? It's so, look at this face. What are you doing, sis? How you doing, girlfriend? Oh. Oh. I love you. You are just... He gave us some samples and he sent us home. We got halfway... No, we literally got on our street home. Her doctor and my daughter's preschool are about 45 minutes away because that's where I work. So I have everything out there just in case of emergencies. I get a call from sister's daycare saying that I need to pick her up because she has a fever. Sorry about the lighting. I literally don't have any lighting set up, and I didn't even open my shades. I just have the light on, and so things are gonna get dark and then light, I'm sure, throughout this whole video. Sorry. So I went and picked sis up and I brought her back to the pediatrician, and she had strep throat. So that's, I guess, welcome to being a mom of 2. We got home and it was late and I was just nursing her, and I was like, at her 11 o'clock feed, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be supplementing with formula. So I nursed her and then I gave her 1 ounce of, I think, Enfamil Neosure it's called. I don't know, it's just a baby formula. And I went to bed. She had been waking up to feed, so I didn't think anything of it. I thought she would wake up. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up in like a panic because why had she not waken up? Obviously, your newborn wakes up to eat if they're breastfed every 2 to 3 hours, so I'm freaking out because now it's been 6 hours. Why is she not awake? She was fine. I woke her up, I fed her, I changed her, I gave her another ounce of formula. Same thing, she wouldn't wake up for 6 hours. So at that point, I called the pediatrician. I'm like, I don't know what to do. She's going all these hours between eating and she's making me nervous because, you know, she's supposed to eat every 2 hours. So the pediatrician said, look, I'm going to call you back in 2 hours. If you're to see if you were able to wake her to feed. 2 hours later, I changed her diaper. I got her to latch on and nurse for like a couple minutes, and in that couple of minutes, her pediatrician called me and was like, hey, I just wanted to, well, the nurse at the pediatrician's office called me back and was like, I wanted to check in on Vayda. And at that point, she was actively nursing. So I was like, oh, she's nursing right now. Like, I think she's okay. And then I hung up the phone and she fell back asleep and she would not wake up again to nurse. At that point, I said, I'm taking her into the emergency room. Something is very, very wrong. I got her all bundled up and put her in the car, and I called the pediatrician back to say, basically that I was taking her in, and she's like, I think that you're making the right decision. Take her into the hospital. We're there for a couple minutes waiting in the waiting room, and they bring us back to triage. It's super busy in the hospital. They check her temperature, and it's like, it's very low. So she immediately brings us back and puts us in a room, and they put Vayda on a warmer, which I'll attach a picture of her here. The little probe on her belly she had an allergic reaction to. So that was something else that happened while we were there. The doctor came in and she told us that when babies get a low temperature and are lethargic, they worry about meningitis. I need to do a lumbar puncture on my tiny baby and start her on antibiotics immediately. They start an IV, they take some blood, they put a catheter in to take some urine from her, and they basically told me that it's not a pretty procedure and that I probably shouldn't be in the room. So there's like a Starbucks right in the hospital, so I walked there and I got a macchiato, and then I waited in like a private waiting room for her. They didn't make me sit in the regular waiting room. About 10 minutes later, she came back and got me. Everybody in the hospital was like, everybody, like even other people there, they were like, she did great, she didn't even cry. I guess it doesn't hurt babies to get a spinal tap like it does an adult. Start her immediately on antibiotics and admit her to the regular pediatric ward. Just waiting at this point for blood tests to come back and to make sure that she has antibiotics in her in case she does have meningitis, so that things don't get worse. After 6 hours, again on the dot, she woke up and she was ready to eat. At this point, she received no more formula. She was waking up to feed every 2 hours. She was doing great. Her heart rate was dropping down into like the 30s and the 40s, and it would always come back up on its own. Baby's heart rate's supposed to be 120 to 140, so they were concerned about that to the point that I was taking a nap and they pressed the SOS button, and I swear the entire hospital ran into the room and whisked her away to the ICU super quick. But by the time they had gotten there, her heart rate had gone back up by itself. So they switched us to the ICU, where we spent 4 days monitoring her heart. Eventually, all the blood tests and the spinal tap came back normal. She didn't have any type of infection. They then decided to do an ultrasound to see if she had excess pressure in her brain. The ultrasound showed that she did not have any excess pressure, like buildup of cerebral spinal fluid in her brain, but she did have 2 bilateral, some type of brain bleed that they see in preemies all the time, so they weren't super concerned about that. But then she also had some abnormal blood cells, which can indicate that I had a virus, CMV, when I was pregnant with her, and it's basically just a cold, and people usually recover, but it can have lasting effects for babies. So we're still waiting on those test results to come back, and if that's positive, she'll be treated with an antiviral, and hopefully we caught it early enough. It can have long-term effects like hearing loss and cerebral palsy, and it's kind of scary for babies to get it, but people don't know that they have it because like you just think you have like the flu or a cold. And I was actually tested for it in pregnancy because she was small for her gestational age, and it showed that I had the antibodies, but at the time that they tested, I didn't have an active infection. But that doesn't mean that I hadn't had it in the first or the second trimester. The whole time we were there, she kept having bradycardia, they called it, which is just a low heart rate, but it would always go back up on its own. She never required any type of intervention to make it go back up. Once all the tests came back and we got her warmed back up after 5 days, miss, yeah, you causing trouble. The doctors decided that they weren't really concerned about her heart. They did a couple EKGs and cardiology, looked at her, and they said her getting cold makes her heart rate drop a little bit, so we need to keep her super warm, which I have been. It's like 100 degrees in my room, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt, and I'm sweating. But you're nice and warm, huh, sissy? Huh, sis? I know. So today is Wednesday. We were discharged Monday evening. And yesterday I just took the day to kind of hang out at home with her and relax. And then today we went to the pediatrician. Do you want to tell them what the pediatrician said? Weight gain has been really hard for her, but today at her 2-week visit / hospital checkup, she is back at her birth weight of 4 pounds 10 ounces. You did so good. You did so good. She was a little cold, but we think it's because I unwrapped her so that they could weigh her. She was naked. I was following her in the ER in the hospital the whole time, and he's like, I was reading through the notes, and the doctor said that you were concerned about FPIES, but they think that it's just her acting premature. Her pediatrician was my pediatrician. He is Eliza's pediatrician. He knows all about it. He said there is no way that this was just a preemie acting like a preemie, because she would have been having all these symptoms in the nursery. She was there for 5 days and she was never lethargic. She never didn't wake up to eat. She did have a little bit of a low body temperature, but they didn't let us go home until she maintained her body temp for 2 days. He said he thinks because Eliza's condition is characterized by lethargy, low body temperature, along with GI symptoms. And here's the thing, is she's a baby, so when she spits up, everybody says, oh, she spits up, but she dry heaves a lot, so we think maybe it's been vomiting and not just spitting up. He said, I think that it's likely that she has it. And he was like, who does Eliza see for GI, because I want the GI doctor that's been following her to now follow Vayda. So we are gonna go see GI, okay? And figure out if you're just a little FPIES baby. Are you? All the ER doctors kept telling me you don't get FPIES until you're 6 to 8 weeks. So our pediatrician was kind of under the impression that that's not like that's the typical case. But how much is it that we just pass the symptoms off as babies being babies at first, and maybe they can present a little earlier, and I'm just really sensitive to it because I went through this for 14 months with her sister, trying to get her diagnosed and figured out what was wrong with her. So maybe my sensitivity and knowledge helped me realize that this was not normal for babies. We're gonna do that on June 15th, and we'll obviously let you guys know how it goes, right, girlie? Say hi, sis. Say hi to all your family out there. Say hi. So that's the update on her. She's doing much better. She is home. We're hoping to be able to keep her home, and she has not had any more formula. She's just been breastfeeding, and she's finally gaining some weight, huh, miss? You just needed a little more time. They were just being too hard on you. See, I wasn't even supposed to be born yet. We're all just doing our best, huh, baby girl? If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see Eliza, you can look back at other videos, and I will be editing her coming home video soon. So you guys will have that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Actually, just give this video a thumbs up, even if it sucked, for the cute baby. Right, cute baby? And as always, we'll see you next time. Are we supposed to say dream big, Al, or dream big, Vayda? Dream big to both of you girls, huh? It's a kind and beautiful world. Here, go give a kiss. We'll just do one. We'll just do one. Say, we hope you guys are having a great day. That's your whole family out there watching you, though. You have such a big family. So many people. When Mama was pregnant with you, they sent you presents. And they waited for you just as long as I did. And they love you like I do, too.